Now I got two more after this, December.
Don't seem so sad.
Property in the Village of K-Pac. Shouldn't take too long, and then we'll go into the committee hearing. So then I'll be doing that piece of it, and then I'll turn over to the various committee chairs. So could we have Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I guess we'll do a roll call for the public hearing.
Commissioner Angie, Commissioner Beeden,
Present?
Commissioner Torello,
Present.
Commissioner Zeller,
Present.
Commissioner Rushing,
Here.
Commissioner Vandenbosch,
Here.
Chairperson Samasko.
Present. This time we will open the public hearing relative to the annexation of the property in the Village of K-Pac, relative to the tax numbers published in our notice on two pieces of property. It's my understanding that the village and the township have already passed resolutions supporting it. The property owner or owners have also in writing indicated that they wish to have this annexation take place. Is that your understanding, Gary?
That's true, yeah.
Okay. So at this time, we would allow the public to comment on the board's action that will be forthcoming relative to that annexation. Is there anyone that wishes to speak on the topic of the annexation of the Village of Capac property, the 2 parcels noticed in our public hearing relative for November 6, 2025 at 6 p.m.? We go through this 3 times. Is there anyone that wishes to comment on that item at this time? Anyone from the public? One more time, is there anyone wishing to address the board on that issue at this time? Is there any commissioner wishing to make a statement, question, or anything of that nature? Then at this time, I can close the public hearing, Gary. I would conclude that the public hearing is now closed, and then we'll be voting on this as part of an agenda package later, or do we vote on it now?
In the agenda.
In the agenda, okay. So we'll close that, and that part of it is closed, and it'll be taken up as an agenda item on the appropriate hearing. So I'm done. So Lisa, it's all yours.
This time, I'd like to call to order the Health and Human Services Committee. If the clerk could take the roll, please.
Commissioner Angie, Commissioner Torello,
Present.
Commissioner Samasco,
Present.
Commissioner Zeller,
Present.
Commissioner Rushing,
Here?
Commissioner Vanden Bosch,
Here.
Commissioner Beeden.
Present. Are there any additions, deletions, or changes to the agenda?
I do, if I could. I would like to potentially delete 7E, the Community Adolescent Health Center Oversight Contract Approval for Dr. Carly, and numerous reasons for that. We haven't had a chance to review it. The Advisory Board of Health has not had a chance to review this. This has been going on for in excess of 6 months. And I'm not sure if there's a drop-dead date. I know Steve Samasco has asked Liz if there's a end date that the potential grant, and we haven't got that information from Liz King yet. Maybe she has it now. And if it was in dire need, it should have been put on for final action. So I don't believe it's in for final action. Did talk with Liz King for 30 to 40 minutes on concerns. She brought me some answers today. There's still some other answers in regards to the superintendent within Yale, but I think this should go to the Advisory Board of Health on the 19th and then get their recommendation to us, because that's what the Advisory Board is there for.
I would second that motion, and if I could make a comment on that, Lisa?
Sure.
I sent an email out yesterday on this. I was contacted Friday by Liz King in the morning. We talked probably for 45 minutes about that proposal. I had seen it as a conceptual initiative sometime earlier. Then it came out in the agenda as an item, an action item to send to full board. I agree with Mr. Rushing. I think that should go to the Advisory Board of Health for consideration and an opportunity to give us their views on that. You know, that Advisory Board of Health function is to advise this board, Dr. Nevin, Liz King, on issues related to public health policy and procedure. So I agree. I think that I would not want to send it to full board. I would not want to really, look at it until I get the opinion from the board that we've established to give us advice in those areas. So that's pretty straightforward for me as well. So that's my position on it.
So we're just going to remove it until the advisory board has a chance to comment
If
and
the
then
board,
revisit,
if there's
is
some
what
more,
you're
if the
saying.
majority support to remove it, I mean, I would think that would be the thing to do. But if there's a majority wants to have it discussed tonight and consider sending it to the board, that can happen as well. But
Gary has a comment.
Yeah, since it's on the agenda, I would suggest if you're going to delay it, just acting on it one way or the other, pending the review by the Health Advisory Board, that it be tabled and then referred to the Health Advisory Board for review, and then you can decide whether to take it off the table and then when.
same, that's fine.
Commissioner Rushing, would you amend your motion then
Well,
to table it versus remove it
Just
altogether?
more discussion on that. If the Advisory Board comes back that they do not want to go forward with this, it wouldn't become an actionable item anyways. So if we wait for their answer, that'll become an actionable item if the Advisory Board decides to forward it to the full board anyways.
Corporation Counsel suggesting that, I believe that if we don't take it off the table, it just stays there in perpetuity, so would not be considered unless,
Right, so are we going to discuss it tonight once we get to it or not?
no,
We're
Liz,
gonna
Lisa's
table it.
asking.
Okay.
I was asking if you wanted to amend your motion to table it to, after the Advisory Board of Health has had a chance to review it. We'll wait for their recommendation.
wants you to amend your motion,
I can do that. Amend the motion to table it.
and I'll second that. Okay, fine.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So we'll table item 7E.
7E.
Can I have a motion to accept the amended agenda?
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Citizens wishing to be heard tonight, there are several. So what I'll do is I'll call the first person, and then I'll call who's sort of on deck so that you can get ready. So first up, we have David Huffman, followed by Janelle Parrott. And I'm going to apologize in advance if I get your name wrong. Names are not my favorite thing to say publicly. So David Huffman, followed by Janelle Parrott. Thank you. One down, 84 to go.
Good evening, Commissioners and public as well. I'm Pastor David Hoffman from Fort Gratiot. I'd like to begin and open with prayer, if we could, please. Bow your heads. O God, from whom all good proceeds, grant to us, your humble servants, that by your Holy Spirit we may think, say, and do all that is right, guided by your merciful hand. May we be accomplishing your will, your work, your way, through Jesus Christ our Lord, who lives and reigns with you, one God, now and forever. Amen. As a concerned citizen, it's no hidden matter that there is a great divide right now at the County Health Board between Nurse King and Dr. Nevin. And it's really not doing us much good to continue on with that division. Unfortunately, there's a partisan power and objectives struggle between these two servants. And educated minds would ask the question, when does a duly trained nurse usurp the authority of a doctor? And once again, the credentials of the doctor exceed that of the nurse. Dr. Nevin's expertise is well documented throughout the medical community by all his peers, and the world over, I might add. These two entities are not equal, and it has been relayed to me that Nurse King is now wanting to hire another doctor. And so, for that reason, I ask why, and is this circumventing Dr. Nevin is what I'm asking. And the hierarchy leadership needs to be better defined and or enforced so that we can move past this issue. It's been dragging on for a long time now. And as a respected and elected board, I'm suggesting that we better utilize the resources that we've already hired in Dr. Nevin. You should have full oversight of that board. And President Lincoln once said, with great power comes great responsibility. Dr. Nevin has demonstrated this time and again with his actions when others have not. Thank you for your time.
Janelle Parrott, followed by Sandra Tannehill.
Hello and good evening. So I attended the most recent Board of Commissioners meeting and was quite surprised that we began the meeting with a moment of silence for prayer. Our Constitution says that there is a separation of church and state. Oh yes, it does, and that should be.
Hey, calm down. She gets her 3 minutes to say whatever she wants. Please calm down.
That should be respected and abided by. Excuse me.
You had an extra 15 seconds if you need it.
Thank you. That's all.
Sandra Tannenhill, followed by Eileen Tesh.
My name's Sandra Tannehill. I'm a concerned parent of the Yale school system. I was pleased when I heard the government-funded clinics were being removed from the schools. I don't co-parent with the government. Most parents aren't aware of the intrusive stipulations attached to these government grants. The superintendent sent me a letter to the parents that stated the closures but did not specify the reasons which cited animosity. I'm disappointed the reasons why were non-existent in the letter. CAHH trains the staff during their yearly meeting to ask a multitude of questions pertaining to guns in the home. This form of questioning is intruding on privacy, which is state overreach. Another concern is they teach clinic staff to encourage vaccines that are promoted by the vaccine manufacturer that most parents in this county are opposed to. They are trained to make you feel guilty or undermined the parents' wishes. The health department has $6 million facility rarely being used. Why aren't we putting more effort into filling those rooms and providing care there? A 14-year-old making medical decisions in school is irresponsible and a privacy concern. Most teenagers still need to be reminded to brush their teeth and to take a shower, let alone have the medical knowledge to determine if they're being misdiagnosed or given the wrong treatment. Are parents prepared for their children to receive physical exams and counseling, choosing for them with or without their permission because some teacher or counselor decides it's needed during the school day when we're not there? Regarding to Director King's request to have Dr. Carley be hired to reopen these clinics, the repeated information on many sites is he has an extremely low patient rating. 63% gave 1 star out of 5. The commonality concerns are HIPAA violations. I quote, "worst doctor ever." Another quote, "this doctor is a whore." To my understanding, he's a defendant in multiple wrongful death lawsuits. She didn't know this? As a parent, and in fact, my teenager attends Yale, I'm asking the board to put your feet in my shoes. I'm questioning what you're offering us with these clinics besides convenience to a child and a teenager. Most responsible parents would seek a physician they knew or were referred to. A school clinic should never be primary care. I would encourage you to vote no to Director King's request when the time comes. I don't appreciate the fact she purposely leaped over the chain of command without recommendation from the Health Advisory Board or Dr. Nevin. Her actions over some months have caused disruption in team dynamics. Speaking for the board and Dr. Nevin, you ultimately have my gratitude for acting in the public's best interest and concerns. Thank you.
Eileen Tesh, followed by Eric Reed.
Thank you. Good evening. My question, and the question on many people's minds over the last few months, is who does Liz King really serve? The people of St. Clair County and their values, as she says she does, particularly in her email of October 31st, or the state and its agenda. What was very disconcerting is she addressed in her October 31st email a section on diversity, health equity, and inclusion. The department remains committed to ensuring impartial access to health services, recognizing and respecting the diversity of the communities we serve, and maintaining a welcoming environment for all residents. Okay, you cannot put lipstick on a pig. We all know what DEI is, and the federal government, particularly President Trump, came out and said there will be no more DEI with these federal funds. And I would direct your attention to a recent article. This one was November 3rd, 2025, and it's written by Michigan watchdog Capital Connection Media. Fraud-riddled Michigan Health Department will continue to push DEI through 2030, regardless of what what President Trump has ordered. In January, the White House ordered a halt to DEI programs using federal money. The move followed a sweeping national and local elections in which voters registered a strong reaction against the excesses of woke ideology. And I asked a number of people, pastors, educators, what is woke? And nobody really could define it. This article defines it as a cross-culture, popular attitude, anything that is against our traditional values. Okay, so, but it appears that the Michigan Health Department ignored that directive, and they're more concerned, and in this particular article, they're talking about all the fraud that is going on and has been going on in that department for many years. And it seems that they're more concerned with the agency prioritized race equity over getting rid of the fraud and cleaning up the department. So I just am asking, it's just a question because based on Liz King's actions and her words, we've got a big divide here, and it's a problem. Thank you.
Eric Reed, followed by Libby Prill.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay, great. It's great to hear this civic discourse. People are really interested and involved, and that's what democracy is all about. I see some very strong, vehement opinions. I'm just going to be very brief. I'll bet you there aren't very many people older than me in this room. I remember being in high school with kids coming back from summer vacation with withered limbs, kids not coming back because they had polio and they were bedridden or just couldn't move around. I remember my family and everybody in the neighborhood being scared of the polio epidemic and feeling lucky that I escaped it. And finally, Dr. Jonas Salk coming up with a vaccine that would prevent kids from getting polio. And it's been so long ago now that people have forgotten what a great thing that vaccine was. It was the one that I most remember, but there are lots of other diseases that we just plain don't have now because people are vaccinated against it. So I'm coming out in favor of people thinking about these facts when they think that it's just because of vaccine manufacturers promoting horrible stuff that's going to make people sick. It is not the fact. And I'm going to stop right there. And not because I can't make people read up on it. I know there's a lot of information about vaccine that just is simply wrong. And I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for the time.
Libby Prill, followed by Dawn Falk.
Good evening. Health Officer Liz King has submitted a recommendation to contract a part-time physician to oversee the Port Huron and Yale High School clinics. She has proposed that this position be funded by the controversial state CAHIC, Child and Adolescent Health Centers grant, which Medical Director Dr. Remington Nevin does not recommend. My understanding was that the board intended to self-fund these clinics via partnerships that would be subsidized by county funding and not involve the state. The CAHIC program has many strings and requires a named physician to serve as medical director. This individual would be invariably referred to as the medical director, which undermines the statutory responsibilities and public stature of our current medical director, Dr. Nevin. Unless the board instructed Liz King to hire a medical doctor, she has introduced restructuring elements to the health department that misrepresents the county's intent, creating controversy and division that borders on insubordination. Liz King recommends that oversight be served by a doctor who has poor reviews. He had a 2.3 review on Healthline, some were lower, and a concerning record of litigation, including malpractice and wrongful death. The wrongful death litigation was just settled in 2024, I believe, during the summer. This doctor has had multiple tickets for expired plates, driving without a valid license, no proof of insurance, impeding traffic, speeding, and a refusal to obey a police officer's traffic order for which he had to post a bond. Liz is attempting to purchase a doctor's signature to continue her practices unobstructed by our medical director, who identified areas needing improvement. She was directed by this board to work cooperatively with Dr. Nevin, yet continues to undermine Dr. Nevin by removing him from any input into staffing, reviewing qualifications, or setting standards for how oversight should be provided. I do not see a path forward wherein Liz King will work cooperatively with any medical director. I support expanding health services and service locations in St. Clair County, using county funds to support partnerships with local providers. For the sake of moving this forward, I believe it is in the county's best interest to consolidate the health officer and medical director positions into one position and fill that position with Dr. Remington Nevin. I encourage the board to not delay in making this decision and that it be addressed post-haste. In addition, time for an audit. We need to take a look at grants, we need to take a look at SNAP, and we need to take a look at Medicaid. You have to look at all of it. I don't think things are kosher there. Thank you.
Dawn Falk, followed by Robert, I'm going to apologize, Lavero.
Good evening. I'm here tonight to address a serious concern regarding the health officer's decision to pursue a contract with a local physician for oversight of the community adolescent health centers. This proposed contract directly contradicts the written medical recommendation of our medical director, Dr. Nevin, as outlined in his September 18, 2025 memorandum titled Medical Recommendations for Development of Primary Care Services. In that memorandum, Dr. Nevin made it very clear that the state-funded school-based child and adolescent health centers are an insufficient foundation for building comprehensive primary care services. He advised that these services are better provided by private community health organizations that can operate freely without the limitations and financial constraints of a state-based program. He further recommended that the St. Clair County Health Department align with most other health departments in rejecting direct CAHC funding and instead support private and federally qualified community health centers to expand accessible full-service care throughout our county, making better use of both state and federal resources. Dr. Nevin specifically stated that any attempts to re-expand our participation in the CAHC program beyond the current Port Huron Teen Clinic, including through additional part-time contracted physician supervision, would be inconsistent with his medical direction. And despite that clear directive, on Friday, October 31st, Dr. Nevin was informed that the health officer had intended to offer a contract to a local physician for oversight of the Yale and Port Huron Teen Clinic. This is a direct act of insubordination. It disregards the authority of the medical director and undermines the chain of command required by public health law. To make matters worse, the Advisory Board of Health, whose role is to review and advise on these types of medical and program issues, was completely excluded from this process. By moving this item forward without proper review or authorization, the health officer has acted outside the bounds of her administrative authority. I urge this board to take this matter seriously, to uphold proper governance, and to ensure that our department functions under the lawful medical direction of its appointed medical director. Thank you.
Robert Lavero, followed by Carol Miller.
Thank you. I guess I'm looking at this DEI as, it reminds me of Sodom and Gomorrah. It reminds me of, you'd think we would have learned our lesson by now, but evidently we haven't. We're encouraging our children to participate in lewdness and all these changing our sexes and having sex with same-sex partners. And, you know, the way I was brought up was the Bible told me that there's an abomination to him, to my Lord. Now, I am a Christian, and I know that bothers a lot of you people, but I think that we shouldn't be going down that road. As a matter of fact, in school, there's no place for this kind of teaching. If you're going to teach, get back to the basics. Teach the things that the kids need to learn, how to survive. You know, forget this sex changing and all this stuff. We're tired of this. We're tired of you trying to control our children, our grandchildren, and putting them in a place of darkness. We don't like it, and we will always fight against it, because this is an abomination to the Lord. He hates it. He was the same yesterday, today, and forever. He won't change. Oh, yeah, he should.
All right, keep it down, please.
Anyway, I just, another thing too, with that gentleman that brought up the point about the vaccinations. My sister had a shot. She got dystonia from it. My brother got a shot. He had a heart attack. My best friend had a shot. He had a heart attack. My neighbor got a shot. He had a heart attack. Many people that I know got the shot and died. So I don't agree with you on the vaccinations, so I just thought I'd bring that up. But thank you so much for letting me have my time up here, and God bless you all.
Carol Miller, followed by Vicki Blackburn.
Good evening, Board. If you've had an employee who you directed to perform a task such as working together, and that person knowingly chose to do the opposite, would you still trust or employ them? In any professional environment, and especially in healthcare, that is the very definition of insubordination. None of you, in your roles as county leaders or professionals, would tolerate such behavior. No responsible employer would retain someone who deliberately defies authority or disregards the chain of command. Such conduct would result in removal or, simply put, termination. Following the recent Health Department Advisory Board meeting, which was held without a quorum, I spoke with the administrator. He confirmed that he advised the health officer, Liz King, to reschedule the meeting, and she refused. Had that reasonable directive been followed, the tension and unfortunate remarks by Mr. Watkins that followed would have been entirely avoided. A subsequent FOIA request revealed an email sent by the health officer to a commissioner who was not on the advisory board and to the county controller. The tone and intent of that message appeared aimed at undermining the proper function of the advisory board. This is not an isolated incident. There has been a pattern of behavior that challenges leadership, disrespects direction, and undermines Dr. Nevin's authority as the board's appointed medical leader. These repeated acts show a clear unwillingness to cooperate with the Board of Commissioners and instead reflect an attempt to exert control contrary to the board's intent, creating unnecessary division within the department. Further, the physician whose contract is before you that you tabled tonight did not go through the advisory board's review process. No CV has been provided, and public records show this physician has been named, as we mentioned before, in multiple lawsuits involving deceased patients. Section N, is in Nancy, of the contract also states, quote, the physician will supply substitute physician coverage when primary designated physician cannot provide service, unquote. That's a problem. That language raises legitimate questions about due diligence and oversight. Who sought this individual out, and why was the proper vetting bypassed? When I have raised Open Meeting Act concerns, it has been discouraged participation, but to emphasize the importance of transparency and compliance. Suggesting in her email that such accountability deters applicants undermines the public's right to openness and fair governance. Lastly, comments implying the individuals are doing to Ms. King what was done to another board member is misleading. The reality is that both have created their own situations through choice and conduct, as evidenced clearly in the FOIA email, which exposed attempts to control the department rather than collaborate within it. Commissioners, this is not how a health department should operate. The pattern of insubordination, the lack of accountability, and erosion of the trust must end. I urge you to take a firm and principled stand and remove the current health officer and restore the department to what it was meant to be, a
transparent, ethical, and community-centered organization guided by sound medical leadership. Thank you.
Vicki Blackburn, followed by Angela Dufresne.
Well, it's on to Plan B. I sought the counsel of some people that are far wiser than I am, and came here ready to support and to celebrate the reopening of the Yale Clinic at no cost to the county. What is glaringly apparent to me is we have a lot of senior citizens making a lot of comments and judgments about children, and I find it highly offensive that in all of these comments, what I don't hear is I don't hear about the suicides of teenagers. I don't hear about children in Yale that need access to somebody to talk to. I don't hear about HIV and the high rate of that, or alcoholism, or drug addiction, or the list goes on. And I hear senior citizens saying, it's okay, you know, we know that the parents are gonna take care of it. Well, that is just a load of crap. Parents don't always take care of it, and it would be great if they did, but they don't always. I think that it's, I've shared before my Christian beliefs, and I am so highly offended at the treatment that a person in the audience received for daring to suggest that there be a separation of church and state when it comes to prayer. For one thing, I pray, and I can pray anytime I want to. I can pray if you put it on the agenda. If you don't put it on the agenda, that's on me. And that's my personal faith. To behave the way that this audience, some of the people in this audience did toward the young woman that was speaking, I think is really putting Christianity in a sad light. And I would say Jesus wept. The other thing I would say is, how dare somebody from out of the county come in here and laugh in front of some of the mega solar people and joke about how he can get away with anything, he can do this, he can do that. And this is not a personal thing with him. I mean, I'm not attacking him as a person. What I'm saying is I highly object to the fact that somebody is coming in here and messing with stellar professional history that's been built up over time. I think it's time to start documenting how much time this board is wasting of resources, of money, of impending litigation that's sure to come with this nonsense that's going on. And I would say that the personal attacks need to stop. That's really, I mean, you're better than that, aren't you?
Angela Dufresne, followed by Mike Grover.
Good evening. Thank you for tabling that agenda item. You know, my questions were, who made this decision? Was it Liz King alone? Because we do have a health advisory board. Did she just call this doctor and ask him if he wanted to do this? Or was this something that was offered to all the doctors in the community? Because we have a lot of good doctors in this community. Unfortunately, my family has personal experiences with Dr. Carley, and they are not good experiences. Some of what people have said about him strikes right along what we dealt with. We found a new medical provider. There was delays in diagnosis. There was inappropriate, unprofessional behavior. And when I seen it on the agenda, I was, quite frankly, extremely disappointed. I come to every meeting or watch it at home. I never miss a county commissioner meeting. I never miss a health advisory meeting. And I'm disgusted by the animosity that has been created by this situation. Liz King has been told to work with Dr. Nevin, and I don't see that. I see her going around behind his back, doing things that she knows he doesn't agree with, and then we come to a meeting like this. We fill the room. I'm honestly sick of hearing about this. I'm sick of dealing with it. There's a new administration in the White House. Diversity, equity, and inclusion should not be pushed anymore. I have to question, you know, it kind of feels like somebody in Lansing is, making the direction. And because our last health director left here and is working in Lansing, that really concerns me. It's not the state that runs the local health department. It is the local body. And I really think that we need to stop all of this and start focusing on what really matters. I don't agree with the clinics being in the schools. I don't agree with what they're doing. I fully support Dr. Nevin, and I wish Liz King would stop trying to go behind his back and create all this drama throughout the entire county. Thank you.
Mike Grover, followed by Carolyn Richards.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Michael Grover. I'm from China Township. I find it odd that, once again, I feel the need to show our support for Dr. Nevin. I would like to take a moment to reflect on the leadership transition within the county's medical office. Prior to Dr. Nevin's appointment, the perceived atmosphere in that office could best be described as authoritarian. Decisions were made with little regard for the voices or welfare of the community. Since Dr. Nevin has assumed his role, there has been a remarkable change. He is a physician's medical director who genuinely cares about the people he serves. His approach has been transparent, compassionate, and grounded in a sincere desire to promote the well-being of St. Clair County residents. I want to express my complete support for Dr. Nevin and the principled manner in which he has carried out his responsibilities. I also have a little history lesson. This comes from 1802. Thomas Jefferson famously stated there is a wall of separation between church and state. In an 1802 letter to the Danbury Baptist Association, he used this metaphor to explain his views that the First Amendment protects religion from government, interference by ensuring the government cannot establish a national religion, and in doing so protects the government from religious control and citizens from compelled worship. Thank you.
Carolyn Richards, followed by Letitia Bridge.
Hello, thank you for letting me speak tonight. I am here as a citizen of St. Clair County and a citizen of the Yale School District. 5 years ago, when our businesses, our communities, and our schools were closed by the state and then further kept closed by the medical health officer at that time, she told local physicians not to provide mask waivers for kids. She held weekly podcasts that seemed more like a sitcom talking about COVID numbers, but she didn't allow comments because people were questioning her. She sent letters to parents threatening to lock them up if they didn't quarantine their child, but had no way to enforce that. Students and athletes were being kept out of school or masked during sports. COVID vaccines were being pushed on them. People were losing their jobs and businesses were closing. During that time, Liz King was amongst Dr. Mercantant's supporters here in the front row. As parents and children filled this room and begged and pleaded to return to school and stop having to wear masks because they feared for their mental health. Fast forward to 2023, when Dr. Nevin arrived in St. Clair County. We have a physician who is board-certified medical specialist in public health, training in mental health, occupational and environmental health with extraordinary training, education, and experience. Public health is what he has studied and practiced during the entirety of his career. St. Clair County was lucky enough to welcome him here, although we didn't know how lucky we were until this past year or so. He has stood up to the bureaucrats and fought against the solar, wind, and data centers that they want to disgrace our rural communities with because it affects public health. He has stood up to the mass amounts of vaccines that are being forced upon our children all at once when they tell us to not even introduce more than one food at a time to an infant, but telling parents to give their baby 5, 6, and 7 shots at once. Now we have the Michigan Department of Education changing the sex education standards to being included under the health standards, circumventing the rights of parents to teach their sick, perverted ideology in all subject areas of school to all ages. Any grant that this is awarded by the state has strings attached. The providers of the community health clinics are taught how to coerce teens and families to take the vaccines. They are asked about quantity and storage of firearms, and who knows what else they will inquire. With the change in the state constitution and with what has happened around our state, like Rockford schools, when a teacher was transitioning a child without the parent's knowledge or consent, the clinics are just one more opportunity for the indoctrination and sexual perversion upon our children. Thank you.
Letitia Bridge, followed by Elizabeth Ely.
Hi, my name is Letitia Bridge. I'm a resident of Port Huron. I'm a registered dental hygienist of over 50 years. When I first graduated and came back to my hometown here, I worked for several years for the health department, and then in private practice, pedodontic practice. And in my last 20 years, I worked in periodontics. I feel very strongly about keeping the water fluoridated. Although fluoridation was started in 1945, I believe, in our community, it wasn't introduced until the mid-70s. And there's been an incredible amount of massive drop in tooth decay in young people. And I'm sorry, I'm nervous. I wasn't expecting to speak tonight and not very well prepared. But I think that if we lost that you're going to see a lot of children suffer, especially in our lower income families who many don't have the opportunity or don't realize that there is the health department that has a dental clinic for them. So I guess that's all I wanted to say was I hope that you take into consideration that it really has done a lot more good, and I believe there's been a lot of misinformation and a lot of political interference where it doesn't belong. Thank you for listening.
Elizabeth Ely, followed by Trey Smith.
Hello, I am Elizabeth Ely, and I am the president of the Blue Water Holistic Health Network. You can find my discussion group on Facebook. It's becoming very popular. I just wanted to say that, you know, that we talk about we shall overcome. A very wise man who used to be a major force in syndicated radio said, it's not we shall overcome, it's they shall overreach. The people of St. Clair County have been here before. They have spoken, and they have always been, for the most part, against overreach by the Department of Health. And I'm wondering why after the last episode 3 years ago, when we had to let go our county medical director, Dr. Mercatant, why does Ms. King still have her job? That was my question then. And I think it sort of pointed to evidence, not evidence, but the conclusion that there may be something that the county didn't want looked into. And there could be things in those files. But we keep having to fight this overreach, and you have to wonder what's going on. Who's paying the bills? Who benefits from all this, because obviously it's not the people of this county. It's probably not just moral concern motivating this, especially as we have had deep concerns over our sons and daughters, our most precious property. And it would, as I say, be a shame if these people here called for, say, personal liability from harm of people in supposed charge of us, investigation of possible, I kid you not, treason by disregarding oaths of office, which are taken by everyone from the governor to the janitor in this state, or maybe taking the wrong oath. A lot has come up about that. We're glad that public officials made that clear. And who pays, finally, for this bypassing of legitimate authority? So, like I said, it would be quite a shame if these people called for an independent audit of the St. Clair County Health Department. It's our right, it's our money, it's our children. Yeah. And I just want to say, just very briefly, since I still have some time, to the people here who are concerned about DEI, equity, inclusion, equality, which I think we can all agree we stand for, okay? These are not, people who are authoritarian. We stand for everyone being able to do their own thing.
You got to wrap it up. Everybody gets
Yep.
3 minutes. Thank you.
And
Wrap it up,
and
please.
everyone following their own values. So we need to work it out
Wrap it
that
up,
way.
please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Trey Smith, followed by Virginia Curry.
Watching you, Dave. Don't start until I get up here. All right. If this was, I am Trey Smith, local pastor. If this was the movie Ghost, Whoopi Goldberg will look at you, St. Clair County, and say, "You in danger, girl." Not because of anything that the government's doing, but simply because we continue to keep coming here every week or every month, and we do the same thing repeatedly. We keep expecting the government to make some different change, or we expect somebody who's paid by this system to do something different. And the sad thing about it is we keep giving our power away for free. And we keep wondering, everybody from the back to the front has the same opportunity to create their own scenario where they can bring their own version of hope to the group of the people that they care about, versus coming to these meetings and literally just wondering if they're going to do anything beyond what they're going to do. This is the nature of the beast that we keep forgetting about being a community. It is our job and our responsibility to take care of the people that we care about. Nobody's going to fight for your family like you. Nobody's going to care about your children like you. Nobody's going to care about the things that mean the most to your heart. We can go ahead and we can boo, we can cheer, and that's great if that's what we came to do. But the truth of the matter is, if we really want change, you got enough people in this room, enough resources, and enough know-how to organize around whatever issue you care about. That's the reality about the situation. Government gives a level of oversight, but it is us, the people of this community, that will make the change and make the difference consistently. So I don't know what it may take, because when I was driving up and I was coming in, Dave, and I was like, I wonder what we're complaining about tonight. Because I know we're not doing a grant writing session. I know we're not trying to organize in our individual neighborhoods. I know we're not trying to figure out how to keep crime away from this community. I know we're not trying to figure out something that's actually tangible, how we're going to feed people who are, that's not this meeting. This meeting is about, you all should do something because we're not going to do it and we're not going to take responsibility. But we could actually shift that. I'm telling you, you all could do whatever you desire to do. Look at the energy. You guys came out of your nice, warm homes to come in this drab government building to sit here and look at people you can't even stand. You in danger, girl. So my encouragement is simple in my 45 seconds remaining. Figure out how we can take the power of what we want done. You want a better health clinic? Create one. Nothing to stop you. You want to take care of your children in a better way? Create it. You can do it. You got it. You go for it. Woohoo! I believe in you. What do you need to do to take this complaining energy to creative energy? What do we need to do? That's the question I want us to focus on. Because if we continue to do this, we're going to be here next year same time complaining about different things with the same faces and wonder why nothing changed. Thank you.
Virginia Curry, followed by Paul Urban.
Good evening. I wasn't planning to speak tonight. I didn't come with a script, as nobody wrote a script for me. Some people seem to have got a lot of things they read from wherever. But I felt compelled to get up here and say something about Dr. Carly. I'm a former county employee. I worked as a public guardian for several years and served a population that is very difficult. They have a lot of problems, and especially health problems. And worked with a lot of different doctors in this community. And one of the ones I was most impressed by was Dr. Carly. He was truly caring, and he did a very good job for a very difficult population. And I can't say enough good things about him. I wish, people like him made it possible for me to go to work with hope for people who had very little to hope for. So I'm very sad to hear that people have a different opinion. I can't say where that came from, but my only experiences with him were very good. I also want to point out that I just sort of was following the news this week, and there's a small county in Onondaga, New York. It's county commissioners haven't been a majority of Democrats in over 50 years, and that changed this week. Whatever you want to say about the last election, I hope you're listening to the news and paying attention, because I don't think people are real happy with the way things have been going. Thank you.
Paul Urban.
Good afternoon, Board. I hope you all are well. For the past few months, our county health department has experienced a state of unrest with significant disagreements between our current medical officer and our medical director. These disagreements have led to contentious communications that have shown up in backdoor emails, health advisory meetings, and even here at the County Board of Commissioners. Public commentary in regard to the health department has unfortunately shifted away from productive discussions on guidance, policy, and implementation towards unproductive finger-pointing, racial innuendos, and nonsensical criticisms that hinder rather than help. While our right to free speech is fundamental as stated in Article 1, Section 5 of the Michigan Constitution, this right also carries the personal responsibility for the abuse of such liberty. We as a people and as professionals in our career are accountable for our words and their impact. I have said this before and I will reiterate it again. People remember the past. They don't forget the ridiculous science, and they don't forget that they were never heard because they don't have an MD, PA, or RN next to their name. Historically, public health was complementary, focusing on fundamental aspects like diet, sleep, and exercise, with which government cannot patent. However, there has been a drastic shift from complementary approach to one that is compliance or compulsory based. As government departments grow, I don't have to tell everybody here, there is a risk to individual liberty and the freedom to make choices deemed best for oneself and one's family. Today, questioning data or conventional science can lead being labeled a problem, often forcing individuals and families to question the medical community and look for other alternatives as a whole. For any department to operate cohesively and effectively, it sometimes requires challenging the status quo. New ideas provide a necessary challenge to existing information, science, and data, charting a new path forward. Our current medical director, Dr. Nevin, has notably challenged existing data, services, and department operations. This approach, though, should not always be looked at as wrong. Long-standing practices in any field are not always correct, as evidenced across various sectors of government and public health. Dr. Nevin's efforts to engage with the community and step forward presenting a new path is commendable. He has been and continues to be a great asset to this community and county. Therefore, I would ask and I would encourage other members of this department, whether you're here or not, to engage, listen, and understand the rationale behind proposed changes rather than condemning every new thought or action. This department must be cohesive, even amidst
You
the
gotta wrap it
change.
up.
I would ask this department to give the community what it asks for: streamlined service, smooth operation, and a clear application with a determined direction. Thank you.
Are there any other citizens wishing to be heard this evening? Related to Health and Human Services? Okay.
What's that one, Steve?
There's one here. Nope.
Yeah.
Are you Tracy Berge from Marysville? There it is.
So we'll have Tracy followed by Sandra. Thank you.
I'm Tracy Berge from Marysville, Michigan. I'm here to speak about the serious issues that I see unfolding in our health department. These emails, in a few words, are disingenuous and deceitful. I looked up disingenuous, and it's insincere or calculating, deceitful, deliberately misleading. Starting with this email dated September 24th, after the advisory meeting, September 17th. Yet, it wasn't seen by everyone. After that last Board of Commissioner meeting, I went with a couple constituents, and we just asked, at the Health Advisory Board, we asked Ms. King, or Mrs. King, you know, what was her thoughts on this email, and she said, oh, I'm so sorry, and I appreciated that she said she was sorry, but then she said that it really wasn't meant for us to see it. And I was like, well, I just think we shouldn't write it if we don't want anybody to see it. So anyway, I just want to touch very briefly on that email on the 24th. I highlighted, it says the responsibilities to extend beyond the advisory nature of the board and shift focus away from open communication and public input instead of fostering divisiveness. That is her main point there. And then she writes, serving in multiple capacities, she's talking about the people that are in her board. Township boards or political boards can cause question about intent or impartiality. While many pursue these positions out of public service, applications should ensure alignment with public health principles. And then I just thought maybe we should slide in there, you mean the state agenda, but that's not written in that email right here. Anyway, rather than self-interest. And I found that just crazy. I know lots of people that are on several boards. A lot of people, they're passionate, they want to help, and unfortunately not everyone wants to help. They take time, these people are dedicated, they come in here and they research some of these things, and it's difficult, I think. Then I see here, it says, reporting the mechanism as a department head, I need clarity on how to report concerns about how a board member's conduct. For example, I received complaints from 2 municipal leaders that a ABOH member was attempted to use their title to gain entry into municipal water system and place items on a township agenda. While neither attempt was successful, the effort itself was concerning, perhaps to be outlined in responsibilities and their conduct. Well, as I read that, I had to read it twice because I wanted to make sure I understood its content and what she meant. I don't know because she's not standing here, but what I read was that that's just really not acceptable. You know, I wasn't aware that it was unlawful for anyone to ask about where we spend our tax dollars. In this fight of looking over fluoride, I have checked, and I'm just no one, I'm just a mommy, but I've checked with these local water people and asked them about their products and their procedures.
Gotta wrap it up.
All right, sorry about that. I just believe that she wants, I think that we're being sold
Wrap it
this
up,
terrible,
please.
so, sorry, thanks.
Sandra, followed by Margot Romero.
Hello. I apologize in advance if I'm shaky. I'm a little bit nervous. My name is Sandra Grantham. I'm 16. I live in Yale. And looking around tonight, I don't see a whole lot of people that are my age, and that's okay. but I'd like to offer a perspective from a teenager that I haven't seen a whole lot of people talk about today. I've had friends with addiction, with alcoholism, and I've seen people in my community who've died, people very close to me that I've known, people that have attempted suicide, harmed themselves, and you might ask yourself why these people feel pushed towards these things. You might wonder. Christian kids, gay kids, black kids, white kids, trans kids, straight kids, it doesn't matter. They all have felt ostracized or pushed from their community. So I urge you to hear, and when you look at them, to think of your child. I've seen no push or talk of sex change or perverted talk from my educators. So please, I urge you, when you look at any kid, be them gay, straight, black, white, Christian, anything, any child, I urge you to look at your own child and think that could be her or him or them. And to ask yourself if you really know what is going on with your child. Because as much as we'd all love to think that our kids tell us everything, people just don't. Thank you. That's all I have.
I hope I can be as well-spoken as that 16-year-old. Commissioners, thank you very much for the privilege to be able to speak with you tonight. I was born and raised here in Port Huron, and I care deeply for this county and for all of its residents. I'm very happy to hear that a solution has been found at the health department to continue services at several of the teen health centers. It does speak to the willingness of the county to engage with residents where they are and to offer support to those who need it. That's what public health should be. It should align with the goals set forth by the St. Clair County Health Department strategic plan, which state, number 1, building relationships, number 2, workforce development, and number 3, growth and expansion. While it did take a lot of extra time and money to get these clinics back up and running on track from the disruption, I'm very grateful to Dr. Nevin and Liz King, along with the rest of the hardworking health department staff, to solve this issue. St. Clair County is a beautiful place with wonderful people, and the county should be attractive to growing families. We want our children to want to live here, to want to return here, to want to stay here, to want to raise families here. But this requires a healthy and robust system of support. Schools where children can learn without interruption from public health outbreaks that set them back. St. Clair County should be a place where everyone can live their life as they see fit, while protecting and supporting each other with that same endeavor. Accepting that we all share the same space does not mean that you give up your beliefs. It simply means that you allow others to have their beliefs, and you respect that this space is ours collectively. A county that supports industry and experts, small businesses, doctors, dentists, public servants, that's a county that attracts more of the same. It forms a community we can all be proud of, one that our children can be proud of and want to stay in. I'm part of an organization that is trying to bridge the gap. We are fighting for change. And just for the record, being woke simply means caring for all of humanity, not just those you deem worthy. Thank you for listening.
Are there any other citizens wishing to be heard this evening? If I could have you fill out a slip, and I'll take it. Yeah, you can borrow mine. You're welcome. I'll take yours. We have Carrie Balmer. I'm ready. Yeah. You're on deck.
Hello, everybody. I'm Carrie Balmer. I'm from Clyde Township. I wasn't going to speak tonight. I said the same thing when I came to the meeting on the health board as well, but you know what? Y'all inspire me to get up here and speak my truth. especially this young woman from Yale. I'm very proud of you. I have a 16-year-old, and she wanted to be here tonight. She's working. I'm glad that somebody was here to be able to speak for the young people. Thank you very much. I have 3 children. I have kids that are in an elementary school and as well as a 16-year-old. I worry absolutely about them and guns, and I have no problem telling the health department that I'm a gun owner because I have a feeling that with, how did the Republicans say it? If you have nothing to hide, then you have nothing to worry about, right? So I own guns, and they're safely locked up in my safe. And the health department should be able to ask your child, do you have guns in your house? Because you know how many guns kill children every year? More than car crashes, more than drugs. And you know where they get those guns? From your drawers. Lock your guns up, and the health department wouldn't have to ask you about them. That's all I have to say.
Faith Brady.
Hello and good evening, everybody. Thank you. My name is Faith Brody. I wasn't planning on speaking tonight. I'm not a speaker, I'm a writer, so I apologize if I ramble, but I wasn't even planning on coming tonight, but I have just been so moved by so many things tonight. I want to talk a little bit about what it was like growing up here in St. Clair County, because I went to Marine City Middle School and high school, and the poverty. And so many young men have committed suicide in not just during high school, but younger men who were just coming out of high school. They committed suicide. They felt like there was nowhere for them to turn to. Not to mention all of the teen pregnancies. There were at least 10 girls in my grade who are teen mothers. And the thing is, parents should be in charge of their children. They should be taking care of them. They should want to. And I think there are so many great parents in here who want the best for their children and want to make those choices. But the sad fact is, there aren't those people sometimes, unfortunately. Sometimes they fall through the cracks, and that's where you have teen pregnancies. You have people committing suicide. You have people just feeling so lost and angry. And it's just really disheartening. Now, my name is Faith. I'm the daughter of a Sunday school teacher. My dad was the president of the church. I have 2 cousins who are pastors, and my uncle is currently studying to be a deacon. So I know a lot about Christianity. I very much grew up in it. And Jesus wants us to love everybody. That is what I got from growing up. And I think it is important that we need to remember, too, that we need to care for everybody. We are all God's children, and that's just what being a good person is. We live in a society, and we should be caring about others. And, you know, we can help where we can. We can, you know, take care of our kids. We can make choices at home that make them good, healthy children. But we also need to remember that not everybody has that same opportunity growing up. Some people come from really broken homes who don't have the wherewithal to, you know, make good choices, or they just don't have those choices available to them. And that's where government should come in, to offer opportunity for people who don't, those who don't have it. I think that's all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Last call. Anyone wishing to make public comment tonight in this meeting? Okay, moving on. Are there any updates from commissioners?
I just have one, which I sometimes do. We don't converse with the public. That's just not how we do business here. In regards to the separation of church and state, that is not in any of our official documents. That's in the Federalist Papers. So I just want you to note that. It's not in the Constitution, and it's not in the Declaration of Independence. Look it up. It's in the Federalist Papers, and it's not part of our documentation for the United States. Just a little history. But look it up, and you can call me and tell me I'm wrong if I'm wrong.
Any other updates from commissioners on Health and Human Services matters this evening? None. Okay, any conceptual initiatives this evening? No old business. Moving on to new business, item 7A, the Health Department Smiles on Wheels contract for oral hygiene services.
Make a motion, sign the full board.
Thank you. Is there support? I'll support it. Any discussion?
I got a little bit. When this was brought up a year ago, I was misinformed on the, how it was going to be run. If we do go forward with this and the board does approve it, I'd rather have the opt-out that in St. Clair County, we have an opt-in. This is the Smiles on Wheels, and even though it sounds very wonderful and everything, but it's more government intrusion. I'd like the parents to be involved, and if they have to opt in, now they will know that if their kids are going to get an oral exam rather than at their own dentist or at their own doctor. I have a daughter-in-law, my son, they live over in Washington Township, or just outside of Washington Township. Her, or my granddaughter, she started kindergarten this year, and she had to go through that. And she was forced to go to her doctor because she was not going to have the state or the local to give her daughter an oral exam. So she went ahead to go get documentation from her dentist or doctor and give that to the school so she could at least participate in our public schools. So what I would like to potentially do when we have this discussion at the full board is that we require each and every student that has an oral exam done by, if it goes forward, on Smiles on Wheels, that we have a documentation. What this will actually do is be able to have us ask, okay, how many were seen by an oral exam or seen by Smiles on Wheels, and if it's 2,000 students. I'm not just throwing a number out there out of the number of students we have that are in kindergarten. I don't know if that's a good number or not. But then we have a documentation that 2,000 sets of parents said, yes, this is what I want done. So the parents are involved with the school, and also we can then document how the resources that are being used. It might end up being 200. If we require the opt-in to the thing, maybe 200 students, and I'm going to low end for the other side of the argument. But I'd rather have us, if we're going to go forward, to have it be an opt-in program rather than an opt-out, because a lot of parents, and you've seen some of the discussion tonight, parents aren't aware. And if you require an opt-in for the oral exam, you'll get parents more involved. So that'd be my concern if we do go forward with it.
Liz is here. Liz, is that an option for the program for this grant, is to be an where the parents opt in? Okay. Okay, if you could get that for us at the next meeting, that'd be satisfactory? If she brings that information back, if that's an option for the grant?
Okay, now, this contract, when does it have to be signed? Carrie Hefting, would you know?
I don't know. Liz, do you mind coming up to the podium? We have a couple of questions. Thank you.
Question, when does it have to be signed by? What's the question, when it needs to be signed by?
Yes.
I don't think we're under any timeframe.
Okay.
I think we'd want it, they are working right now. Financially, we do have our budget coming next month and worked in. So
On
I'm
that particular-
guessing by December.
On that particular item, if this was, had to be directed in December rather, or before the end of the year, could you have the Health Advisory Board also address this? And if they have any concerns, I'm just giving you my concerns. You got some very well-trained people that are on the Health Advisory Board, and that's their job. You know, they need to be given this information to advise you. So anything you have, I think the advisory board, you know, things are important, you know, and this is important. This is overseeing our children that are going into schools. And I know if I had a kid going into kindergarten, I would be a little upset that if my daughter or son came home and said, they're making me take an oral exam, I'll say, what's going on?
Right,
Because
without
most
your
parents aren't
knowledge.
aware. And what's happening for my other granddaughter that's out in Montessori out in Waterford, they know my granddaughter very well and my daughter. My daughter's a lot like me. So they know if they have something for my granddaughter, they better get her mom's permission before they do anything with hers. So, and I think every parent should have that option to opt in rather than opt out. And I can give you some other instances, but that's with Waterford.
Right, we can look at that and look at the contract, talk to Smiles on Wheels, see how that could happen, or what that potentially looks like.
Yeah, because the dollar amount, I look at the figures, that's our statutory duties. If we find out there's 3,000 kids, whatever the cost of this program is, now we can get a return on investment. And if we find out that the return on investment is outrageous, all right, this is not a good program. If it's a very good return on investment, okay, I can get on it, but I'd still probably want to have it an opt-in rather than opt-out.
Liz, this is a state requirement, right? This isn't something we just do for fun.
It is, it is.
So
requirement.
the state is requiring an oral exam for
Right.
kiddos
So I think
entering
this is just
kindergarten.
a solution, an option for parents that are there, right, to fill that gap. Because parents do have the option, obviously, to take their little one in to their own dental provider and provide that back to, with your kindergarten enrollment and all of that. And what it is it just catches up those who don't have that on file as a screening.
Okay,
But
thank
if we
you.
were to do this and opt in, now the county has oversight of the state. If we keep the partnership with the state, now the state can do what they want because they decided to do it.
Yeah, it also prohibits kids from being in school. Because the kindergartners aren't able to attend school if they don't have this screening. That's a state.
That's not true.
It's not true?
They
Okay.
don't exclude children
Okay,
based on
thank
this,
you.
this at all.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah, it doesn't go to that far.
Okay, good. Any other questions for Liz?
Question for Liz. My understanding, Liz, is it is state law that the children have to have this oral exam before admission. I mean, that's, and then this Smiles on Wheels, my understanding when we first looked at this was that it was an option. If a parent wanted to avail themselves, they could. And then Dave was raised the issue. I talked to him about it earlier in the week. He thought it was somehow mandatory. So I didn't want to look at it to make sure it's not like mandatory. But if is your understanding that it's mandatory or just an option? If a parent wants to avail themselves of that convenience, they can do so, but they're not required to do so. Is that?
To participate with Smiles on Wheels?
Yeah, I mean, is there some mandatory nature of if we do Smiles on Wheels?
No, you could make an appointment with your own provider or.
So with this business of opt-in or opt-out, I mean, is that in any, because I tried looking at it, I couldn't get to the contract to see if I could dig that out. But have you looked at the contract to any degree? Does it have a provision that requires parents to opt out?
It doesn't. I think that's just what we discussed. I do not think that's in the contract. So perhaps if that is how the group feels or the advisory board feels, that's something we can talk to Smiles on Wheels about. The other thing is, this is just the provider we're choosing to utilize for this service.
So if we send this to full board within the next 2 weeks, we could look at that and determine whether or not there's some objectionable language in the contract. So,
I think so.
thank you. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Commissioner Zeller?
I have a question. So as I was just quickly glancing through am I saying it right, the COA agreement, KOHA?
Yes.
There's a comment in there that it says that the Port Huron area school districts have opted to not include this at the time. They're declining all mobile dental programs at this time. Why did they say no?
All schools are approached, right? So the dollars that are here actually pay Smiles on Wheels to do all that legwork. That's not done at the health department at all. We give the dollars over to Smiles on Wheels to approach all our schools. And Port Huron area school districts, they were a no. I believe in general, they are scrutinizing new programs that come in for their students. And they opted to not have it there. You don't have to have this. It's voluntary, right? We just provide the option.
Sure. I was just curious if we knew.
I don't think it was based on Smiles on Wheels or some, it was not based on Smiles on Wheels, the provider, or anything that happened with the provider of service. I think they're just scrutinizing outside people who are coming in for their students. Okay. If you aren't already established, we go into the schools to do hearing and vision testing, all of that, and that's been okay.
Just a follow-up on So it sounds like maybe the Port Huron, I noted that as well. Perhaps it's a competition type thing. They don't want to have Smiles on Wheels compete with the local dentists. Maybe that's part of what they're doing?
I can't speak for them.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so there's a motion and support to send it to full board. All in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Moving to item 7B, the Health Department Marijuana Operation and Oversight Grant Application. Is there a motion to send that to full board?
I'll make a motion to send to the full board.
I'll support. Discussion?
As
Commissioner
usual,
Rushing?
I believe this is right around 50,000, correct?
Yes, 49,384.
And that's going to educate the residents of St. Clair County about marijuana. We're taking tax dollars to educate people about marijuana.
Well, this is on the agenda for you to decide if you want to pursue or allow us to do that. So yes, it's an education and oversight outreach type of grant, and it's to educate on safety, safe storage, safe use, those things. We get a lot of comments on children getting into.
Will this add an additional position at the health department?
No. No, what this will do is pay for any educational campaigns that maybe we do. Lock boxes. In the past, we've used to purchase lock boxes for people, handed those out. It also helps our older adults who have opioids in their home. They really like the lockable packaging that we provide. And then there's also education within there on rules, regulations, those kind of things. Dr. Nevin talked a lot about reaching out to our dispensaries. I think that's a great idea, where we kind of partner with them, where that medical marijuana is coming out of, or the marijuana, and come to some great ideas together.
I've got two more points. One, if you'd please give this to the Health Advisory Board to get their input. And we need to protect tax dollars. Government is spending so many tax dollars, and the grant money that we get, and the Medicaid that covers a lot of the expenses for the health department, those are tax dollars. We should be not just using, government's expanding. We're $37 trillion in debt. We're fortunate in St. Clair County. We've always had a balanced budget, and I think Carrie Hepting and her team have done a fantastic job. But there's other things we could be doing with some of that money. So I want to be tight with the dollars, and I don't think we should be educating about marijuana. But when it goes to full board, we all get to decide.
Thank you.
Questions?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
Commissioner Smith.
I didn't realize, Elizabeth, there's a state agency called the Cannabis Regulatory Agency.
Yeah, yes, there is.
I tried to do some research on this myself, is what is this outreach, cannabis outreach, and for the life of me, I couldn't really figure that out from what was presented in the documents submitted on the agenda. So I looked at this Cannabis Regulatory Agency. It appears that Cannabis Regulatory Agency is a state bureau intended to support the cannabis industry. Do you believe that's correct or not correct? Or don't know? You don't know?
I don't know.
Okay, all right. It just seemed to me that
It's a group underneath Lara. I know that's a regulatory.
It's a bureau, it's a state bureau. It's just like when, back on Dave Rushing's point, we had a big push to promote the movie industry. And the money that was spent there and the redeemable tax credits, it was just, I just had a real problem with that. This seems, I'm not going to support this. It seems like the same thing without knowing more. They call it outreach and oversight. It's undefined. And I can't just take the state money for some undefined purpose to educate or do outreach without some meat on the bone. So, so that was why I didn't second it. I would not be in favor of taking that grant unless we could really identify exactly what it is. Are they teaching people how to use it, how to store it, how to grow it, how to get a license?
Safety. Everything revolved around safety. We did take this.
How do you know that? How did you figure that out? How did you?
Well, I'm just speaking from us as a health department. We had this grant, not last year, but the year before that. And what was allowable was education. We just focused on safety. We looked at our community, what would work within our community, and it was about safe storage.
So you have staff that was funded for this purpose that did that, or no?
They weren't funded, so it wasn't paid their wages. This was just to purchase the lock boxes or do an educational campaign, right? When you pay for billboards or whatever it is you're giving out that promotes the safety and the storage, printing up things on safe storage that goes in the box.
So that might glean some definition of this from the application itself or the contract for the grant? Would that be contained in those documents, or no?
No, there's meetings that go on where you meet with other individuals who are providing the grant throughout the state. It's usually done through our health education department and outreach. So our staff who are already dedicated to outreach within the community, and this just fell underneath that.
Okay, well, I guess that's like my point. I'd be more than happy to look at and reconsider if I knew a little bit more what exactly was being done with the money, how it was being spent specifically, and that's my problem.
For us internally, so I can provide that to you. Our staff can outline exactly what their plan would be and what would go in this application. I think today was just the ask if you want to pursue it
It's hard
or
for-
not.
My general inclination is not to pursue it unless I know more. That's kind of that's where I'm at, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Liz. I appreciate that you and Dr. Nevin are working together on the safe storage. I know that marijuana shops, especially in the city of Port Huron, have popped up. I think we're up to like 5 or 6 now. And with it being legal, having a safe storage for people who want to use it legally and recreationally and medically, I think it's it's an important topic that is growing. So I appreciate your work with Dr. Nevin and your team on that. And so if you can get us some more information.
Sure.
And we'll evaluate it at our next meeting. Commissioner Zeller?
Yeah, just one, do I understand it correctly that there's $3 million that have legislatively been appropriated to this grant? And it's either the county applies for it and receives the grant or just doesn't receive the money?
Correct.
Okay.
Right, so what you see there is every county in their allocation based on how many applications they have within the county.
Sure.
for that.
And so these resources have been legislatively allocated to the Marijuana Operation and Oversight Grants, the Cannabis Regulatory Agency, the MOOG grant, right?
Yeah.
It's a fun acronym. But it's either a use it or you don't get it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Thank you. We have a motion and support. All in favor?
Can we have roll call on that?
Yeah. So roll call, please.
Commissioner Torello?
No.
Commissioner Samasco?
No.
Commissioner Zeller?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
No.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch?
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden?
Yes.
Thanks.
Motion failed.
Well, 3-3, that's a tie, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a fail. It's a fail, yep, okay.
Moving on to item 7C, the library system copier printer agreement, applied innovation.
Make a motion, send that to the full board.
Support.
Second.
Any discussion on that one?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item D, the St. Clair County Library System Thomson Reuters Westlaw subscription.
I'll make a motion to send that to full board.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item F, Comprehensive Treatment Centers, the St. Clair Facility Presentation and Agreement. I know that we have members of the audience here to present on that. Do we turn it over to Tom or to the individuals presenting?
So this is a presentation, informative thing, or is there a deliberation on that, do you know?
What's that again?
Is that just a presentation, or is that deliberation? Go ahead.
Yes, there is a presentation involved. We have Camila and Dan here from Comprehensive Treatment Centers. This was something that was previously approved by the board as a conceptual initiative, I think 2 months ago. So we brought them on site. We've invited them here to do a presentation. You will also see there's an agreement attached to that. So that's for your consideration, depending on how the board would like to vote on this. So at this time, I'd like to welcome Dan Pearson and Camilla Weisenbauer.
Thank you, Tom and Carrie and commissioners and citizens of the community. We're very happy to be here. I'm Dan Pearson. I'm Regional Vice President for Comprehensive Treatment Centers. And I'll let Camilla introduce herself.
Hello, my name is Camilla Vespau. I'm the Regional Director of Operations for...
Pull your microphone just a little bit closer.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm the Regional Director of Operations for Comprehensive E-Treatment Center. I oversee our facilities in Michigan and in Iowa, and I'm happy to be here.
And Paul, thanks for your help with this. I'll try to use the clicker adequately. But we just had a few slides. We know you have a full agenda tonight. Wanted to give a brief overview of what Comprehensive Treatment Centers does. We help people recover from opioid addiction. We've got a quick update on the opioid epidemic in the country, and then the results of some studies that show the impact of medication-assisted treatment, which is what we provide at our centers. I think it's clicking. Paul said it had a little bit of a delay. So. Oh, did it go? Oh, he was right. There's a delay. Okay, anyway, great. So taking a step back, I'm sure you've heard about the opioid epidemic in the country, and we have the 2024 data from Michigan, and just we unfortunately are still in an opioid epidemic. Last year in Michigan, we had over 1,800 folks pass away from opioid overdose, so that's a little over 5 people every single day. And as you can see here, there were over 9,000 EMS responses to probable opioid overdoses. And according to the CDC in America right now, the leading cause of death for Americans between 18 to 44 is overdose deaths. Taking a step back, Comprehensive Treatment Centers is a leader in medication-assisted treatment in the country. We have about 170 clinics across the country, and every single day we treat over 70,000 patients in the recovery from opioid addiction. One thing we take a lot of pride in is our quality outcomes. We're in the top 99th percentile for quality as measured by CARF, our accrediting body. And maybe I'll invite Camilla to just say a few words. On the right hand of the slide are from 2 of our other centers here in Michigan, and how we kind of engage in the community and bring our mission to life.
Sure. So currently we have a clinic in Ann Arbor, and we have a clinic in Grand Rapids. So our clinics, do so much more, than just medication and counseling. As you can see, we have 168 clinics across the United States. In Michigan, we contract with 9 counties. We have programs within 5 different jails. We work really closely with court systems, with the police, the sheriff's departments. We really pride ourselves on creating communities in our facilities. We try to assist with food aid, clothing, if there's anything our patients need, we try to go over and beyond. So.
Thanks, Camilla. Moving to the next slide here. So we provide therapy as well as FDA-approved medications, Suboxone, Methadone, and Naltrexone. And we'll talk more about our program here in just a second as we progress. There's a phrase in the industry that we believe in is a program and not a pill. So yes, medication is a part of it to help neutralize the cravings, but a big part of what we do is the therapy and the wraparound services, some of which Camilla just referred to. So I know this is a very busy slide, but just to kind of quickly go through it, from the top left is we try to be there when patients need us. We know that it can be a very precious window when someone's ready to enter recovery, so we have folks on the phone 24/7, so when they're ready to start recovery, we can get them scheduled. We follow SAMHSA, which is the national guidance for opioid treatment programs. latest innovative recommendations to expand access to care through things like telehealth appointments and take-home medications. We really focus on removing any sort of barriers to care. On the bottom left is just one, transportation. We never want transportation to get in the way of somebody's recovery, so whether it's calling Uber Health on their behalf or giving them a bus pass, our counseling team does things like this to make sure that people can stay on track with their recovery. On the top right here, when you go into Camilla's clinics, it's all walks of life. It's teachers, it's farmers, it's professional, and many of whom have busy lives with works and jobs. And so we try to be as flexible as possible to make recovery work for them. One thing that's interesting is the busiest time of day at most of our clinics is like 6 a.m. because people are going in on their way to work. And so we want to make those appointments as efficient as possible. And our average time for someone to come in and get their medication is about 4 minutes, so that they can get their medication and move on with their day. Our team of counselors provides case management. Camilla talked about a couple of those things. And again, some folks already have jobs and housing and are in a good, stable place. Others are in a really tough spot. And so we really try to coordinate with the community. What are those resources we can connect them with, whether it's housing, food, employment, education, those types of things. And this next slide here on community partnerships, which I'm going to invite Camilla to expand on a little bit as well.
Yeah, so here you see some of that. So, as I said before, we contract currently with 9 different counties. We have an amazing partnership with Washtenaw County and with Washtenaw County Jail. We serve currently about 62 inmates every day. We're opening a new program with Trinity Health outside of Grand Rapids in their crisis unit. We're in Livingston County Jail. We're in Kent County Jail. We're in Ottawa County Jail. We just try to go over and beyond to serve the communities that we're in. We try to work very closely with the police department, fire department, ER's hospital. The goal is to really kind of work with the community and help, wherever we can. So that's what we do. Yeah.
So here's some data from external studies as well as some of our own internal data at comprehensive treatment centers. So starting on the left there, and this applies to all opioid treatment programs, not just comprehensive treatment centers. We see over a 38% reduction in opioid overdose deaths for people who are in a medication-assisted treatment program. Camilla mentioned our partnerships with jails. Given the epidemic with opioids and fentanyl, so many crimes today are committed because of addiction. And so once folks are in a program, we see recidivism go down by about 36% across the industry. And similarly, employment will go up, because for folks who are maybe going through a very difficult transition, as they're able to stabilize, they're in a much better spot to find work. On the right, you'll see some data points from our patients at comprehensive treatment centers. You can see that 80% of our patients, once they're in treatment, test negative for illicit opioids. So that's the goal, right? If they're using fentanyl, if they're using prescription pills or heroin, how can we make sure that they, help them stop using those and use a medication prescribed by the doctor at a safe level to kind of neutralize that craving while they go through counseling and kind of build the skills to stabilize their life. The first 90 days are really important in recovery, so that's something we really focus on. And so over 60% of our patients stay those first 90 days to get stabilized in a treatment plan with our nurse teams and our therapists. And we really focus on patient experience. I mentioned trying to meet patients where they are, flexible, convenience, things like that. And so one thing we ask them in our surveys is, how satisfied are you with your program, the program reducing your cravings for the drugs that you've been struggling with? And so about 85% say that once they're in their program, they no longer crave those other drugs. Now, needless to say, we're always focused on, that's really good, but that also means there's folks who aren't there yet. So what can we do, between the care teams, the doctor, the nurses, the therapists, the counselors, to help them feel in a more stable place. And I mentioned the 99th percentile. That's something our teams work really hard on, just to provide industry-leading outcomes, taking care of patients. There's some more data here, just quickly touch on, and this, on the left here, it kind of drills down on what I was just saying. So this was about reduction in overdose deaths. So this was a study for people with opioid addiction who had a non-fatal overdose. If they got into a program afterwards, their likelihood of an overdose death went down by between 38 to 59%, depending on what type of medication they were using. On the right, this graphic is based on a VA study that showed that for someone struggling with opioid addiction, once they get into a program, their total cost of care goes down by between $25,000 to $105,000 over the course of their lifetime, driven by lower ER visits, hospitalizations, because they're in a more stable place. And with that, we wanted to thank you for considering us to partner with you to take care of your community with an opioid treatment program here in St. Clair County. Thank you.
So you're not off the hook. We have questions, and I'm just going to start with Commissioner Rushing. I know he has questions.
Well, going off your national statistics there, the statistics for St. Clair County, if I'm just using those figures and kind of correlate them over, you'd be having 154 potential overdoses from our total population. You'll have 1 to 2 deaths. It's in between, less than 2, but more than 1 from the figures you got. Is there any competing facilities in St. Clair County that you are aware of?
I don't believe so. No, it's not. So I met with the St. Clair.
I'll check. Liz King, I don't know if she's still here.
There's
Is there any
no-
that you're aware of?
There's no inpatient treatment centers in
Okay.
St. Clair County.
Okay.
There's,
What would be the capacity? of this?
Sacred Heart Sacred Heart in Memphis, probably closest one.
Right,
Yeah.
Sacred Heart is about half a mile out of my district.
Yeah.
And actually, my youngest brother, I know about this stuff, he passed away from an overdose, so he was 34 years old, so, and he spent some time there. But, so no competing facility. What kind of capacity do you have, potentially? I mean,
So the state of Michigan has a certain ratio in terms of counselor to patient ratio. So we staff our facilities according to the need of the county that we work in. Or did I misunderstand?
think, Commissioner, you were talking about patient capacity?
correct.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I heard, just earlier, so these are, I probably should clarify, these are outpatient centers, so
Okay.
this would not be the inpatient center.
Do you have a forecast for county use? I got about 3 more questions. and that'll be
Yeah,
it.
I think in a county based on, kind of the preliminary kind of analytics we did about the population density around here, we probably, over the course of 5 years, anticipate 200 to 300 patients using the facility on a regular basis. I think the total unique users would probably be higher than that, but, a clinic like this, if you walked in 3, 4, 5 years, you'd probably expect to see 200
Got
to 300.
2 more
patients.
questions.
Yeah.
You're asking for $3,665,250. This is 3 years, and that's roughly $1.2 million per year. So I guess my last question is tied in with that. If the funding for this particular facility ends, what happens to the facility?
Yeah,
I don't want an ongoing government-funded facility.
So as you're probably aware, it's broken between capital expenditures to build the clinic and then 2 years of operating expenses.
Right, that's $1.2 million.
Yes, exactly. And so then based on our projections, we would not need any sort of partnership or funding beyond that. That would kind of be the seed funding to build and open the clinic.
You'd be able to, maybe I'm not misunderstanding, but there'd be revenues generated there to where you wouldn't need funding from the county to continue the operation?
Correct. After, the patient, after the clinic grew and more people were using the clinic, because like any doctor's office or dentist office, we bill for services, like using insurance.
Okay, so you're going to bill for your services?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Commissioner Smasko?
This was a suggestion from our opioid settlement committee. Carrie, did this presentation was made to that group and then now it's here? Is that how that got here?
Yes, so there was a subcommittee formed for the in-county treatment when we went out and did the RFP, so we received presentations from several different organizations, and this is the group that the committee chose.
When was that committee formed? How long ago?
The committee was formed quite a few years ago when we started receiving our settlement funding.
Okay. And then the committee RFP, how long ago was the RFP on that? Just if you know.
It was earlier this year.
Okay, all right. And then is this treatment, is it restricted to St. Clair County residents, or is it going to be open to basically anyone that wants to be admitted, or how does that work?
So, I mean, so that would be a conversation between us and your local CMH. I mean, they would kind of come up with those guidelines.
So CMH is an oversight,
Yes.
has legal oversight of your agency?
Yeah, the Medicaid patients go through, we could have private pay patients that would come from other counties, but any kind of Medicaid patients.
So this facility is restricted to Medicaid patients?
No, it would be Medicaid patients, private pay, and it would be commercial insurances if we contract with certain commercial payers.
So how would Medicaid control private pay?
Yes, yeah.
Thanks, Camilla. So I think high level to answer your question, I appreciate Camilla starting because I would think about it. So it would be open to everyone.
Okay,
And
that
so-
was kind of my question.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a yes. Thank you. Okay, it's open to everyone. All right, that's easy. All right. And then on Dave's question, so the funding part of it, this opioid settlement money, that's coming in for like 17 years or some long period of time, right, Gary, long time?
Yes, over 18 years.
But this is kind of a one and done. This, the money we would give to you guys under the contract, you would set this thing up, and you're not coming back for more opioid settlement money. You're just going to work on Medicaid money, private pay, et cetera, and then you think you would just roll right along. What's the organizational structure of the property owner? So if this money is given to this organization, it's an NGO, right? It's a non-governmental entity?
No, we're a public company. We're the largest provider.
Non-governmental?
Correct, yes.
Okay, so it's not related, no elected officials. It's basically a private business corporation or some type of format like that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I did ask our deputy administrator, after this came out, to get a copy of this PowerPoint or something, because I had a vacuum. I was trying to figure out who you are, where you are, how you do it, do some due diligence on where you are around the country and so forth. I didn't see that on, I didn't see that come into my email. Was that, Tom, did you provide that? Was that part of or that's what we talked about? Is this? Okay. Tom's concerned with legitimate, because he didn't want to looking at the email, looking at the presentation without having the explanation and maybe draw some bad conclusions. So could you send that copy, that PowerPoint, or to me, and I'm going to have to look at what you guys said and go over that myself to satisfy myself on it. But I don't know enough about it to really pull the trigger on, a multi-million-dollar investment until I can really get my head wrapped around it. So, but thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Any other questions tonight? All right, well, thank you. We look forward to the presentation. Are there any other human services matters this evening? Hearing none, moving on to item 9A, the Medical Examiner 2024 Annual Report.
Make a motion to receive the file.
Thank you.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 10, receive and file packets.
Make a motion to receive and file.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.
go, though. We got four more meetings.
We have 5 committees.
All right, calling the St. Clair County Judiciary Public Safety Committee to order. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Angie, Commissioner Beeden,
Present.
Commissioner Trello,
Present.
Commissioner Samasco,
Present.
Commissioner Zeller,
Present.
Commissioner Rushing.
Here.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch.
Here. Any additions, deletions, or changes to the agenda?
Make a motion to accept the agenda as presented.
Support.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I have no slips for citizens to be heard for judiciary, public safety. Moving on to any updates from Mike McMillan, the urinal update. I did.
Oh, jeez.
Gotcha. Thank you. Very happy to be here to provide an update. Commissioner Angie requested that I be here and present an update to you. It's been a few months since we've been here last. I see she's not here. I hope she's feeling well. I guess in a nutshell, we're doing very well. Just kind of a brief update. We've completed all case structure changes. We're refining our workflows, creating new ones for circuit case types. Continuing our work with the Secretary of State, the Law Enforcement Information Network, the Judicial Data Warehouse, the Prosecutor Interface, and Clean Slate. We're working on our financial configurations and nearing completion. Our portal, which is the public-facing component of the system where people can make payments and access court records, is coming along well. And we're modifying our conversion plans to reflect removal of the district court from the on-base integration. Right now, our case structure is about 80% complete. Our case structure changes are 100% complete. Our financial structure is 90% complete. Our interfaces are 65% complete, and that's really just dependent upon our partner agencies. Again, we're working with the Carpel system, with the prosecutor, to kind of make up for the changes that were dealt with when the district court left. Our courtroom modules are 75%, our process workflows are 30%, but again, that comes, that's kind of an all or nothing, just like our data conversion, that's 30%. That's an end of the phase, an end of the project phase. So our next steps, we're going to begin our portal configuration in November, finalize financial structures, going to continue the phase 2 testing, and then maintain vendor coordination and interfaces. Some risks that we have interface dependencies, which again rely on state agencies. Our data conversion, really we're dealing with a lot of issues when district court left. So we've had to reconfigure some things. For instance, a case initiation began when information was given to district court, then would transfer on up to circuit court. Once district court was removed from the project, we had to find a different way to do that. So I will tell you that you will probably be getting a contract modification, not for this project, but for one of our vendors, OnBase, who controls our, right now, they handle our documents in the circuit court. We had to remove we did a lot of work prior to district court being removed from the project, so they have to get some money. Our vendor, i3 Verticals, or what was used to be called ImageSoft, we're going to have to do a change order for them, which is roughly $9,000, but that's well within our budget. We have budget line items for interfaces. So I'll be presenting that to you next month, but that whole thing just comes as a removal of the district court. So by and large, we have multiple weekly meetings. We have a large amount of our time with our staff is dedicated to completing these meetings, working on the project. We're doing very well. We have an anticipated go live of July of next year, which is right on pace with what we're doing. Really what we're just kind of dependent upon right now is just our outside agencies. We had a meeting with the Law Enforcement Information Network, or LEAN, this week to go over some things, and that's going well too. So again, our biggest hurdle is just kind of dealing with the removal of district court from the project, but we're doing very well. I would entertain any questions. Yes, sir.
The company that we retained for that. And the county had project managers, a lot of changeover. Has all other people kind of settled into their place
Yep.
now? We haven't
Yep.
had any more of that?
No, yeah, we're good. They, the gentleman that you saw on the screen, Matt Sorensen, was in the process of leaving that, he was in his last few weeks of that, so we have a new project, not a new project manager, but one that was part of that.
That's working, that's back, it's
Absolutely.
working well.
Yeah, we're doing well.
And this drop dead date, you're going to hit the target on that, this go-live date.
Barring any unforeseen circumstances, again, we're in that phase of the project where we're reliant upon outside influences. Again, the Secretary of State, lean, clean slate, Carpel, which is the prosecutor interface. So again, we're good, and we're moving along. Us and Journal are moving along great.
Things
Now we're
within
just
your,
dependent on
the
that.
things within your control seem to be under control and moving
Absolutely.
smoothly. Then there's obviously other things that can occur. But is there any of these components that have been signed off on? There was this business where they did the change order and, people were signing off, the county staff signed off on some things that they shouldn't have that
No.
caused the change order. There's no more of those kinds of snafus.
No,
Or we had
things,
somebody signed off on a module and then
Right.
they had the change order and all this business. We don't have, none of that other stuff's occurred either.
we're being very purposeful when we sign things off. We're still going through testing, iteration. Nothing has been signed off on yet, so we're still
And
working.
the company's been cooperative and understanding, and you guys are working together, so.
We have not been told no. We've been asking for things, and they've been delivering. It's been a good relationship.
All right, thank you, Mike.
Anyone else have any other questions? Thanks, Mike.
Okay, thank you very much.
I see no conceptual initiatives and no old business. New business, Cotterville Township Law Enforcement Contract 2026 through 2028.
Make a motion to send to full board.
Support.
Any questions on that?
Talked with the supervisor, even though it's your territory, talked with him quite a bit because we just happened to meet at a meeting. And I think it's very good. They got a special assessment just for this purpose, and it's going to be good. It's going to add a deputy to the county, and it's going to be good for Cotterville.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Fiscal year 2026 letter of agreement with Region 10 prepaid inpatient health plans for resident substance abuse treatment prevention services for inmates.
Motion to send to full board.
Support.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Moving on to fiscal year 2026, letter of agreement with Sacred Heart Rehabilitation Center for residential substance abuse treatment program prevention services for female inmates.
Make a motion to send it to full board.
Support.
Any questions on this one? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Fiscal year 2026 letter of agreement with Sacred Heart Rehabilitation Center for male inmates.
Motion to send to full board.
Any questions on this one?
I'll support that.
Okay. Any questions on it? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Fiscal year 2026 letter of agreement with incorporation to maximize personal achievement with community training impact for residential substance abuse treatment prevention services for inmates.
Make a motion to send to full board.
Support.
Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Fiscal year 2026 mental health court grant program agreement.
Move to full board.
Support.
Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Mental health court agreement with Huron House.
Make a motion to send that to full board.
Second.
Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Letter of agreement between Mental Health Court and Community Mental Health.
Make a motion to send that to full board. Support.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Mental Health Court with Blue Water DRP LLC.
Motion to send to full board.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Fiscal year 2026 District Court Grant Program Grant Agreement.
Make a motion to send that to full board.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Memorandum of Agreement between Recovery Court and Mental Health Court, or Mental Health, Community Mental Health.
Move to full board.
Support.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Memorandum of Understanding between Recovery Court and Blue Water DRP.
Make a motion to send it to full board.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 2026 Public Safety Answering Point Annual Training Grant Fund Application for Central Dispatch.
Motion to send to full board.
Second.
Any questions on that? Because Tina is here. She loves to get up and speak in front of us.
No questions, Dave.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Michigan Public Safety Communication System Tower Agreements.
Make a motion to send that to full board. Support.
Any questions? Because we still have Tina here.
Maybe you have a question.
No, not today. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 2025 Bulletproof Vest Partnership Program application with the Sheriff's Office.
Move to full board.
Support.
Any questions? Because Matt's here too. He loves to get up and speak too.
Yeah, but he won't quit talking.
This is true.
Up there.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Any other judiciary public safety matters by the commissioners? Hearing none. Receive and file packets.
Make a motion to receive and file.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
We're going to continue on without you. At this time, St. Clair County Board of Commissioners calls the Environmental Public Works Committee meeting to order. May we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Angie, Commissioner Beeden,
Present.
Commissioner Samasco,
Present.
Commissioner Zeller,
Present.
Commissioner Rushing.
Here.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch.
Here.
Commissioner Terrell.
Present. Is there any additions, deletions, or changes to the agenda? Make a motion to accept the agenda as presented.
Support.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I have one citizen to be heard. Mr. Anthony.
Hi, Commissioners. I had the opportunity to interview Kelly Tucker on my podcast today, so that'll probably go out Tuesday, and it'll reach thousands of people, her story. So I just want to stand here and recommend that there would be a advisory board for animal control, one that's well-structured, having the right citizens or people on it, and I think that will increase the effectiveness of our animal control department. So recommendation I'm making, and again, I'll put that podcast out. We're she shares more of her story and what she's experienced in a interview format. Will go out Tuesday. Thank you.
Thank you. No other citizens wishing to be heard. Any updates from commissioners? None? Any conceptual initiatives? Thank you. No old business, new business. Moving on to item A, Resolution 2532, County at Large Drain Assessments.
Make a motion to send full board.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item B, Resolution 2533, Airport Sponsor Contract Number 25-0475, Automated Weather Observation Station, MDOT Aeronautics.
Make a motion, send to full board.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item C, 2026-2030 Capital Improvement Plan.
Make a motion to send full board.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item D is Parks and Recreation fee changes.
Make a motion to send that to full board.
Support.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item E, contract approval for Vortex, the replacement of the electrical system for the splash pad at Goodles Park.
Make a motion, send to full board.
Support. Thank you. Any discussion?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8, the Smith Creek Landfill Activities Report for July of 2025 volume.
Make a motion to receive and file.
Support.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Any other environmental work matters tonight? No. None. Information only. It was the monthly Park and Recs financial documents. Can I
Motion
get
to receive and file.
support? Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Receive and file packets, please. So moved.
Support.
Discussion? Favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Opposed?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Motion adjourned, or meeting adjourned. All in favor? Okay, everybody, go easy on the ball. This is the first time around.
So I knew what to say until I got the gavel, and now I have no idea what I'm supposed to say to open this up. So St. Clair County Board of Commissioners Community and Economic Development Subcommittee, opening and roll call.
Commissioner Angie, Commissioner Beeden,
Present.
Commissioner Trello,
Present.
Commissioner Samasco,
Present.
Commissioner Rushing.
Here.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch.
Here.
Commissioner Zeller.
Present. Are there any additions, deletions, or changes to the agenda?
Make a motion to accept the agenda as presented.
Support.
What am I supposed to say now?
Any discussion?
Any discussion? Hearing none.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, moving on. I do not have any papers for citizens to be heard. Moving on to item 4, any updates? None. Item 5, conceptual initiatives. None. Number 6, old business. None. 7, new business. Item A, Resolution 25-31, the U.S. Bike Route 20.
Make a motion to send that to the full board.
Second.
Do you have time to give a?
Is there any discussion?
Paul, I want to say you're doing a great job,
Okay.
so keep up the hard work. Thank you. Yeah, obviously, the bike route, it's been a discussion point for the last several meetings. Did get the resolution back from the city of Marysville. They signed the resolution, so that was attached with the packet. Did also get confirmation from the township supervisor, Rob Lewandowski from Port Huron Township. He approved the move also. So the bike route just moves from Range Road due to traffic for our bicyclists to make sure that they can navigate that safely over to Michigan Road. So it travels up Michigan Road all the way to Griswold, Griswold up towards the kind of Bridge to Bay Trail, right there in the Wadums to Avoca Trail. So it helps out our bicyclists to make it safe. There's no financial implications. It is purely just the county supporting the move of the US bike route.
Any, further discussion?
Just a question, Tom, did any citizens communicate with you by email or contact any public interest received by the administrator's office on that?
I have not heard anything, Commissioner. Just the individual who was pushing for this. So Mr. Kerry Irons from the Adventure Cycling Association.
We slowed it down so you could get some municipal and township review on that, so that's all taken care of.
Correct, yep. Everything is squared away. All the local municipalities are in support of this move.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Further discussion? Thank you, Tom. What am I supposed to say now?
Any further discussion?
Any further? Motion to move it to full board. What?
We have that.
We have a
All in
motion,
favor?
second, just call the vote, yeah.
Oh, call the vote then.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. All right, item 8, other community and economic development matters. None. Item 9, any information only.
Make a motion to receive and file.
Support?
And all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? There's a reason they sat me next to corporate counsel.
Motion to
Yeah,
adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Meeting adjourned.
Meeting adjourned.
All right, Steve, bring us home.
I will be Carrie Angie for the next few minutes.
You're looking good tonight.
I know, it's hard to, it's hard act to follow, but Carrie called today and told me she had the flu, and thought she might still try to come, and I encouraged her not to. I said, we don't have the flu here amongst us, so hope she's feeling better. She is missed, but I will now open the St. Clair County Board of Commissioners Ways and Means Committee for November 6, 2025, 6 p.m. Have roll call, please.
Commissioner Angie, Commissioner Beeden,
Present.
Commissioner Torello,
Present.
Commissioner Zeller,
Present.
Commissioner Rushing.
Here.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch,
Here.
Commissioner Samasco.
Present. Any additions or deletions to the agenda?
Make a motion to accept the agenda as presented.
Support.
Motion is second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. No citizens to be heard on this agenda, no updates, no conception issues, no old business. Item 7A, 2026 pension retiree healthcare contribution rates. Motion?
Motion send to full board.
Support.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Item B, Resolution 25-30, budget adoption for 2026. Motion, please.
Motion to send that to full board?
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Item C, contract approval request 2026 RESA service agreement payroll support services. Motion.
Make a motion to send to full board.
Thank you, David. Second.
Support.
Motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 2026 Medicaid Advantage Agreement Renewal.
Make a motion send to full board.
Support.
Motion and support. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Item E, 2026 Blue Cross Blue Shield Agreement Renewal.
Make a motion to send to full board.
Support.
Motion and support. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Item F, Michigan Municipal Risk Management Authority Insurance Renewal for 2026. A motion on that, please.
Motion to send to full board.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item G, Manning Table Change, Cotterville Township Deputy.
Make a motion to send to the full board.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item H, Retirement Healthcare Trust System Investment Consultant Plan Custodian Services, Dahab Associates.
Motion to send to full board.
Motion, do I have a second?
Yes, support.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item I, proposed contract administrator controller, T. Hall.
Motion to send that to the full board.
Support.
Motion and support, any discussion, any questions or comments on any of this? I know there was a proposed contract, Gary, you've looked at that, right? The proposed contract for Tom Hall. And I know Carrie Angie had a couple questions on it that I relayed to Tom on that. So there's no other questions with regard to that. We can address it again at full board. We have a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution 25-20, annexation of Village of Capac, tax number 74-27-033-2004-10, final action. You have a motion?
Motion for final action.
You have a second?
Support.
Motion is second. Gary, why don't you just briefly explain what those two items are and how they got here so people know how that works, if you wouldn't mind.
In Michigan, a village is located fully within the boundaries of a township, and they can agree between themselves to have property annexed. It always goes in the direction of the village, because they have sewer and water, and the township doesn't. So if there's some development that's going to occur, for example, the Loves at the freeway just outside of Capac was in the township, they wanted to build, they needed sewer and water, so they annexed that to the village so they could provide sewer and water. And under Michigan law, if they want to do an annexation, both bodies, the township and the village, have to pass a resolution requesting that the county approve it, and then the county acts. I've never seen one of these not approved. It doesn't mean it couldn't happen, obviously. Because if both parties are in agreement, then obviously that's what they want to do, and move that property from one to the other so it can be developed, and that's why it's before you. You have to approve it.
Now, there's no Travis Yolot, the city manager, had contacted me. He's got family matters tonight, otherwise he'd be here. Also indicated, I believe, that the property owners have to declare in writing that they support it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's
Because they're
the
different in tax, just different tax rates.
Third item. So he had indicated that the resolutions and letters had all been in order, and he was asking for us to support it. So any questions or comments? A motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed for final action. Item K, Resolution 25-29, annexation of Village of Capac, tax number 74-24-033-3001-000 and parcel 74-27-033-3002-000, also for final action, similar material. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion to final action.
We have a motion and a second.
Support.
Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Other Ways and Means Matters? None. Information only? Hearing none.
Motion to receive and file.
Support.
Motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Are we doing closed session today, Gary, on this?
Yeah, that'll be good.
So we need a motion to go into closed session and with a reference to the reason why. So Gary, if we indicate the motion to discuss the Linky King and Keys litigation, is that sufficient?
That's good.
Because we have a motion, please.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a?
Support.
Have a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
We will, motion opposed, none. We will now take a recess, go into recess and adjourn immediately thereafter. Thank you.